name is Kimathi Donkor, and I'm a painter. I'm based in London in the UK, and I've come here to South Africa for my first solo exhibition with Gallery MOMO in Johannesburg. So Clarity Vision is a solo exhibition of new paintings and recent paintings. One of the things that inspires me as an artist is looking into historical, mythological and legendary narratives, often connected to Black African diaspora kind of history. Back in, say, around 2007, 2008, I was working on a series of paintings thinking about the slave trade and sort of Britain's role in colonialism and imperialism, and the connection between that and art. So one of the things you have, for example, you go to various English country houses, you might find some very beautiful sort of portraits of the local landowners or whatever. But then when you go into the history of how these people came into their wealth, you find that very often they were sort of owning massive plantations in the Caribbean and enslaving sort of thousands of people, working them to death in sort of terrible conditions, African people. But when you look at the artwork, then you just see this surface. So it's a really straightforward matter that if you turn around the canvas, you see on the other side the stretcher bars, the wooden frame, the reverse, if you like. And so it becomes a motif or an allegory to the reversal of history, to looking behind the sort of glossy surface of the art historical image and thinking, well, what lies behind that in economic, historical, social terms. When I started that my PhD, I've been studying Tate Britain, or the collection of Tate, as part of my sort of research. And on the banners outside of Tate Britain, it says the home of British art, and that's their sort of marketing slogan, because it's there to display British art. And so part of my research was actually investigating what does Britishness mean and what does Africanness mean, because I was looking at exploring connections between Tate's British collection and Africa. And then this sort of interesting slogan, home, came about, and I started to find all kinds of interesting things to do with what that word, its origins. In Germanic, Heimlich can mean home, a friendly, nice environment, but it also relates to the uncanny, something that's a bit sort of, weird and freaky. And this I was getting from reading about Freud. So home is a very sort of dual and strange kind of concept. On the one hand, you can think of it as being a place of rest and settlement, but it can also be something a little bit more disturbing. A home can be as much of a prison as it can be a sort of place of, happiness and release. So, as a person of sort of African and European heritage, sort of my, travels in life have sort of, mediated between these different spheres of the world. Sometimes, like in my early childhood, I was living in sort of Zambia, and then moved back to the UK to get my education. But in England, I've spent most of my life sort of living in districts with quite a strong Caribbean and African population in London. There's been a lot of settlement of Black and Asian people in London. So, in that sense, we can say that there's that's an intertwining of all of these sort of strands of identity, and that's running through my biography, and it also runs through my art. I think my art, in a way, tries to draw attention to that, and to consider it, to meditate upon it, to think about all the implications of these intertwinings.